grant writing, proposal writing. We have a lot of community groups that could tremendously benefit from your expertise. Why not join with us? Partner with the ministry, partner with a community group. Which rural community are you from? You know the farmers in that area here for a long time. There's money out there that we're not getting because we're not connecting the right dots. I believe the diaspora is a place for us to connect some of those dots. So, not just investment, tilapia, hot pepper, your NGO type investments that can work and can do very, very well. All right, Mr. Scott, I think I only have 2 more slides. So, please invest, partner with Jamaican farmers, promote agricultural exports, support sustainable agriculture, share knowledge and technology. We'll speak more about some of those when we do the question and answer. This is the last slide. All right, next one. All right, so this is, again, we want you to look at different areas to invest in Jamaican agriculture, right? So again, it's not just about farming. How can we take the technology that we're now seeing? We're looking for people who are looking to do storage. One of the big challenges we have in Jamaican agriculture. If you know we plant in seasons, so it means we come in a glut, and then the farmer said, well, the price gone down, and then 2 weeks later, we're going to a shortage because we don't have storage. So the government is investing significant sum in storage, but if we want to move quickly, we need partnership and private investment. Agriculture technology, we spoke about it. Urban farming, we can speak about, and sustainable food sourcing. Next slide, Sir Scully. I think that is the end. So you're going to hear from Mr. Scully, AgriInvest. He's going to tell you where you can go to apply right now. He's going to tell you some of the returns on investment because we are here on serious business. So we wanted to look and say, if you invest this money, this is how much you will come away with, right? Because our hope from this is not only that you will eat Jamaican, that you will promote eating Jamaican, but that you will invest in Jamaica's agriculture and fisheries sector. Thank you, everybody. I turn over to Mr. Scully.
Thank you very much, Minister. Before we bring up Mr. Scully, let's give it up again for Minister who you'll be hearing from again. There are a couple of things I want to announce just quickly before we go into the second presentation. Caribbean Airlines is back in the market. I had to work hard on that deal. I'm just kidding. But Caribbean Airlines is back on December 17th. They will fly from Fort Lauderdale to Kingston. So the representative is here. I'm going to ask her to stand. Let's give her a round of applause. It's going to be 3 times a week. 3 times a week to start with. All right, and the times are very good. And you can visit their website for more information. And so Caribbean Airlines, and you know that Jamaica owns 16% of Caribbean Airlines. Many of the former individuals who worked at Air Jamaica work at Caribbean Airlines. We appreciate all the airlines, you know, and we appreciate Caribbean Airlines. So let's give them a round of applause. All right. I want to acknowledge a gentleman steeped in agriculture here in the community. If I were to go through his bio, I'd be in trouble. Dr. Sam Scott and Mrs. Scott here, thank you so much for what you do. You know, we had recently, you know, we don't get involved in politics at the consulate. So when you ask, calling me to do this and do that, and, you know, I always just ignore that. But we congratulate our Jamaicans who were successful in the recent election. We have over 26 Jamaicans who were successful in recent elections. We give them a round of applause. One individual who put up a very good fight, and he's here, and he's one of our noted attorneys in the community, Mr. Mark Douglas. Big up to you, sir. I see President of the Jamaica Women of Florida, Mrs. Aisha Rainford, and Mr. Rainford, who is celebrating his birthday here. And when she asked her husband, She said, honey, what you want for your birthday? What can I do for you that will make your evening special? I want to go to the mountain lecture series with CJ. Well, not quite. They're leaving early, but the story sounded good for her, right?
I wanted the Jamaican community.
You wanted the Jamaican community. Excellent. Well, thank you and congratulations on Runabout. I see the founder of the Jamaican Men of Florida, the legend himself, Dr. Alan Cunningham in the house. One of our ongoing sponsors for all events that we have, Maxine Hines from Jamaica National. We appreciate you, Maxine. So when they clap like that now, we have 2 proposals to send to her now. And give me the pen and clap them on. Another big sponsor, Mr. Chester Bishop. Our Global Jamaica Diaspora Youth Council member, Miss Renee Miller is here. Taking the pictures, right? All right, and I'm gonna call some names. But one of the young companies that we have that's doing extremely well. Every week they call me and tell me which new contract them get and who invest in, and tell me I must keep it quiet, and I've kept it quiet. I won't call any names, but I'll just big up grocery list and Mr. Jermaine Morgan. We have some foundation members who have been invested in agriculture over the years. One of them is here, is a stalwart. He's been in the community now for over 40 years. His company is a successful one. When you go and he gives you a tour and you see all the almost tell us a mega mart, the Walmarts and Targets, he's in all the stores and he's distributed to many states right across the United States, right? This gentleman, anytime you call him for support, he's there. And if you call him to give a joke, he has to buy everybody around. Mr. George Yap, Lisa. It was not just Jem that was supportive during the hurricane. By the time we were able to get support to Jamaica, the biggest contributor to Jamaica, without question, in terms of relief efforts, is Food for the Poor. And I want to recognize Mr. Michael Chinkri, who is here for Food for the Poor. Thank you, Michael. We had over 600 Jamaicans here in the community who volunteered to help pack containers both at Food for the Poor and Jem while we had the hurricanes. I'm making sure, Minister was very grateful, and I'm happy he's here, and I want to thank the community for their quick and consistent response and support. Get clap. Yeah. All right, no problem. I have 2 more names, but I forget the last name, so I don't want to call it. I'm going to call him a little later. But at this time, this gentleman was with Jabra for many years, but worked with us closely here in the community, and then he got promoted. And now he has moved on to a higher calling. But he reports to the minister, but this is a gentleman here who will tell you a lot about how to actually get some lands and get involved in planting the products. Therefore, I don't want to steal it. You went talk about the orchard. I don't want to steal the thunder. But there are some crops that the distributors will tell you here that they are waiting to get, whether it's ackee and avocado and scotch bonnet and breadfruit. You're going to hear some more about these. Serious money involved in these crops. And Mr. Vivek Scully at this time is going to come forward and just give us a presentation here as I recognize Mr. Andrew from Golden Cross. Let's give it up for Sir Vivek Scully.
All right, thanks, CG. And well, good afternoon, everyone. Good night. You just heard the minister's presentation, and no doubt you fully understand what the vision of Jamaica's agriculture ministry is all about. It's about promoting Jamaican products, both for consumption as well as for investment. So my name is Vivian Scully, and I'm from AgriInvest. So I'm going to walk you through the steps and the opportunities surrounding the agricultural sector. All right, so our job is to facilitate investments into the sector. Whether yourself or your colleagues or anyone you know of who would like to get involved in agriculture, we're the agency that facilitates that in Jamaica. Primarily, we have a number of agri-parks. We have a number of agri-parks in Jamaica, which helps to facilitate investors who would like to identify land in order to bring their projects alive. We have about 10 agri-parks across the country. There are 14 parishes in Jamaica, and we have agri-parks in 11 of those. In addition to that, we have what's called production zones. So there are many opportunities covering about 10,000 acres of land across the country for agriculture. The other thing that we do is we have a team of farm technical support persons. We have business facilitation persons who can help with business planning, as well as we have processing facilities, either in the ground now in different parishes to support the agri-parks, as well as some that are coming on stream. And if we can't facilitate within our own structure, we can identify and assist you in identifying production zones and processing facilities across the country. All right, so many opportunities. We spoke about the agri-parks. We have public-private partnerships where we can put together deals. You have funds, we know investors, and we can connect the dots. We also have opportunities with government that private investors can partner with us on. All right, so what's happening in agriculture? Over the years, our production of agricultural crops has been on a growth trajectory. If you look at the last 10 years, it's just growing every year, which means that we're getting a lot of things right. There are some periods it might dip a little, but the general trend is upwards. So it means the time is right now to get involved in agriculture. Why is that so? Jamaica has a favorable climate and soil, and we all know that. Anything come from Jamaica just tastes different. You buy the same thing from another country, it just doesn't have the same flavor. We have the best Blue Mountain coffee, we have the best pepper sauces, you name it, the list goes on. And the minister identified a couple of those earlier. Our location makes it very suitable. We are very close to North America, so we have access into the United States, into Canada, and there are lots of trade arrangements that allow free flow of goods from Jamaica into these countries without any duty. Easy access. Skilled labor force, we have several colleges in agriculture that produce persons who can support large-scale projects. And of course, one of the strongest factors is the government support. Many programs to support agriculture. We have a productivity incentive program that allows duty-free imports of capital goods and inputs into agriculture. Once the project is verified within the agriculture, you can have access to that facility that allows items, capital goods into the country without additional duties on it. So we make it very affordable to get into the sector and very competitive. All right, so in addition to the natural advantages, key agricultural sectors are in the non-traditional exports, which are growing now. Years ago, we had sugar, banana, and stuff like that. Now we have yams. The number one export from Jamaica is yellow yams. And the entire yam portfolio is giving about close to $50 million US in terms of value of exports into the diaspora markets. The other area where there is significant opportunity are orchard crops. Ackee, mango, breadfruit, these things that used to grow in your backyard when you're in Jamaica. Now the demand for those is outpacing everything that we have in Jamaica. And so we're creating opportunities around that for investors to get involved. Livestock and fisheries, the minister spoke about that. We eat so much goat in Jamaica that our imports of mutton is close to $1 billion. And that needs to change, to switch. So we're promoting the growth of goats to help to reduce our imports of those items. So Brand Jamaica is a significant opportunity, and we all know that the products that are emanating out of Jamaica, of which there's so much demand for, and we need more agricultural investments to facilitate this demand. Both on processed products and also on fresh products. The peppers, the thyme, the scallion, the ginger, the sorrel, the range goes on. So what makes that happen? In terms of orchard crops, this is a huge opportunity that we're presenting in Jamaica. So we have created right now a mango park in Clarendon, which comprises about 700 acres, and it's pretty much at full capacity now in terms of investors, but we are opening up additional lands to facilitate new investment in these crops: mangoes, ackees, breadfruits, and avocados. And in the area of vegetables and tubers, there's yam, sweet potatoes, onions, and the investment opportunities around that are also being facilitated by AgriInvest. So how are we going to make this happen? We're launching one of the largest projects in Jamaica's agriculture at the moment, called the Southern Plains Agricultural Development, spanning across the parish of St. Catherine and Clarendon, close to 2,000 acres of land that's available for investors. And the applications are open at this time for persons to apply. So we are inviting persons to invest in this agricultural future. The lands are fully irrigated, infrastructure is in place, roads subdivided, and these are going to be ready early 2025, starting in 2025. Applications are open right now, and we are about halfway in terms of filling out these lands between these two parishes. So whether yourself or persons you know who would like to get involved in agriculture in Jamaica, this is the time for that to happen. And these agri-parks, there are other opportunities as well for greenhouses. We know the climate is giving us a challenge in terms of heat, and so we're promoting hybrid agriculture on these lands, where along with open field, you can also install greenhouses to create crops that will grow in a more controlled environment and reduce the risk of the climate on your projects. So, lots of opportunities. We're inviting you now to reach out, join us in building Jamaica's agricultural legacy, and help us to eat more Jamaican, both locally and in your home countries abroad. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Scully. And we're about to... Let's give it up again for Mr. Vivian Scully. So as you see, we have not just come here with a fancy talk. There's a pathway for persons to get involved right away. All right, so Before we're going to question and answers, of course, I want to just recognize all the members of the Jamaica High Five running team who are here. Our annual 5K takes place on May 10th. You can register. Go to JamaicaHigh5KRun.com and get the early bird special. So you can do that this evening. Remember, everything was free to come in, so you can register. Noted attorney Alison Smith, I want to recognize her. Thank you for past president of the Florida Bar Association. William Chai, businessman in the back. Thank you so much, sir. And I also want to acknowledge a lady who serves on several committees across a number of groups, Mrs. Judith Cunningham. Thank you for everything you do. The better half. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have some questions. Allow you to ask questions, and we'll have the responses. All right. We're going to do it community style. We deliberately didn't go with 2 mics today. We go with 1 mic. Keep it community style. All right. Who's the first one? Sir Clarence.
Clarence Reynolds. How are you, sir? Thanks for coming in. Of course, water is a big issue in terms of farming, but another big issue with hurricanes, etc., and rain. Roads, farm roads. Now, there is a move afoot or a policy plan to do concrete roads. Is that a long-term solution, concrete roads, as opposed to what we have now?
Yeah, so thank you. Thank you very much, Sir Clarence. Yeah, farm roads is a big challenge, roads in general. And you would have heard that the government has a new program that we're rolling out starting December to treat with roads, to take a more comprehensive approach, to spend some more money. We're putting $45 billion this year, and we want to do that over the next few years. Farm roads, we've been getting a bigger budget over the last few years. In fact, we went up to $1 billion, and that's kind of what we need a year for the next 5 years. COVID came, we went back down, we're now back up to $800 million. So last year we did about 71 farm roads. This year we're going to do less in number, but we're going to do better roads, right? So part of the challenge that we've had over the years is that you do the farm roads, you try and stretch it as much as possible, and then 2 years you have to come back and do it again, right? So one of the things that I'm changing is, one, we're going to do the farm road, have to do it good. So put in the drain, put in the culverts, ensure that it lasts. So as a part of that process, so one time we never used to do Barber Green, asphaltic concrete. We used to just the chip and spray. But now we do Barber Green on farm roads because especially it carries a lot of water. So I did have a meeting with one of our cement providers to look at some options that they have done in other parts of the world, like Mexico. And they have, it's not a straight concrete road. It's a mixture. Yep. And they have been able, in those parts of the world, to bring it in at a price point. One of the challenges has been price, as you know. The price has been really prohibitive to do concrete roads. They are better at carrying water, and they do last longer in that regard. So we're going to pilot it. So, we haven't taken a policy decision yet to go concrete roads. What we're going to do is identify 3 areas in different climatic conditions. I want to do 3 roads and see how they do. See what price point they can be at, how they stand up to our change in weather. Now, if it works, if it's sustainable, then, but if not, we just have to keep on. One of the things that we see in Jamaica, now I see the environment constituency. Because of how the rain comes now and the intensity of the rain, our drains are just not big enough, right? I've seen drains collapse. And it's not that they weren't built good, but they just weren't built with that carrying capacity. The rain that we had in Raphael over 4 hours. I don't know if I've ever seen that in a period, right? So we have to look at differences, no? So we're exploring it. Thank you.
We have top chef, Mr. Mark Cameron in the house. If I remember, Mark was coming, I would have pressured him to not walk empty-handed, but we know Art Basil is coming, and he has his sauce here that he produced himself. Mr. Mark Cameron, let's give it up for Mark Cameron. I have lots of stories about Mark, but I won't go into them this evening, right? But he's a man of many talents, and he has an event taking place on December 5th. Himself, AJ Brown and Paul Campbell at Dukuna Restaurant, which is one of the top Jamaican-owned restaurants in the community. I see Chef Ari here as well. So these are two top Jamaican chefs in the house. Let's give it up for them. Hard work, ladies and gentlemen. Hard work. I've been training them for years. Now I'm proud of them. Okay. I know Mr. Spence has a question. Former Regional Director for Air Jamaica, Mr. Charles Spence. All right.
Good evening, Mr. Minister. On the issue of storage, you mentioned that, but I'm kind of key. Well, I want to find out if you would know what sort of wastage is taking place right now. When a farmer takes his product to Coronation Market, for example, on a Thursday, and Saturday evening, a portion is not sold. What happened to that? And then I have a follow-up question as well.
Yes, a very good question. Wastage now is about 30%. That's what we look at in relation to the average, because we do have, unfortunately, limited storage. A lot of the people who have limited storage are exporters, right? So in the local space, storage is a challenge. So one of the things that we're doing now, we do have some projects underway as we speak. You know, sometimes Jamaica happens in cycles. So there was a time that storage was built out, was poorly managed, and unfortunately fell by the wayside. So part of what we're doing under Agro-Invest is repurposing some of those storage facilities. So like in Coleyville in Manchester, we've identified another one. The other thing that we're doing, we have a partnership with the government of Morocco, and we're looking at containerized solar storage solutions. One of the challenges that we found in the past, why storage never worked so much, is if Jamaica agriculture sector, as you know it, is we have production zones, right? We don't call them that, but we have areas where we know get a lot of production out of. You have to put the storage in close enough range for it to make sense, or transportation becomes an issue. Or you're going to provide a transportation for the storage. So part of what we're doing is looking at some modular solar solutions. Again, one of the big challenges with storage in Jamaica traditionally has been cost of electricity, right? So we're looking at some renewable energy solutions. Starting to roll it out next year. So it's something that is a big priority for us because we do have significant waste. You have a follow-up?
And I'm speaking from personal experience, right? As a student when I was in the UK, yes, I would go to Arns and I would buy so-called Jamaican products, but they were never from Jamaica. Right? They were from Ghana and all of those places. So what, and I remember once I said to one of your counterparts many years ago, why don't we do linkages? Meaning that why don't you invest in those same people who are selling those products, or Jamaicans who are living there, so that it's a guaranteed export to them so they can actually sell it to the Jamaican diaspora. And I won't repeat what they said to me, but then I was a young budding student and I knew everything like that. But could you address that, please?
So thankfully, we're seeing more of those linkages. Thankfully, a lot of the people who trade in the Jamaican space are people from the diaspora, right? And clearly, people from Jamaica with links in the diaspora. So we're seeing some of that. But the bigger challenge is, so there's a profit that is made when you pass off your goods as Jamaican. And we have to find a way to ensure, outside of what you said, which I agree with, and this is part of what we want to do with the global campaign, to say this is who you should go to. These are the people who we know are selling authentic Jamaican items. But one of the things that we're working on now, we started with coffee. As you know, we have the best coffee in the world. And we have the same problem, where a lot of people say that they are Blue Mountain coffee. So one of the things that we're doing now is that we're going to come with a QR code that will be attached to all our coffee, that when you pick up a bottle or a jar and you scan it, it will tell you that you are seeing authentic Blue Mountain coffee, right? And not only will it tell you that it's authentic, it will carry you to the farmer and you can see the farm, because no modern world now is about traceability, is about what processes are you putting into your coffee. So we've already signed that contract, we've already started that work. So what we're doing now is geolinking GPS in our farms. That is the start, because ideally, once it becomes feasible cost-wise, ideally you want to be able to want to pick up something that you think is Jamaican. There's an easy way for you to authenticate that it is Jamaican. We'll have to do that, because again, we carry, if you look at Jamaican mangoes, our mangoes go for sometimes 4, 5, 6 times the cost of any other mango. So I'm going to try say Jamaican mango. Castor oil, Jamaican black castor oil, don't talk about that. Massive thing. We just did something with Yui last week where we're introducing standards that we're looking to now put in intellectual property designation around castor oil, a geographic indicator, like what we have for Blue Mountain, like what we have for Jamaican rum. So it's work in progress.
I'm Kayon Montague. I have a question about the supply chain. Is it departmentalized, or would the farmer/owner be responsible for farming, produce, quality control, distribution, packing, or is there different groups? And then also, is there an opportunity for existing farmers to participate in any of these opportunities, or does it have to be someone new going through your program?
No, so all our programs, the last question, so all our programs, anybody, so existing farmers, and in fact, a lot of the applications that we have now are from existing farmers. And I want to say also existing investors, because what we're seeing a lot of, and Jamaica, what we're seeing a lot of, definitely over the last 2-3 years, are people who, they do medicine, they're pilots, but they're now looking to invest in agriculture. And we're seeing a lot of take-up of these new programs from some of those people. Because again, people are recognizing that once you take a business-oriented approach, you can make significant returns from agriculture. So it's open to everybody, and everybody's taking it up. Thus far, we just also decided that we need to make a special push in the diaspora, because we think it makes a lot of sense to connect the dots. The chain, very, very good question. So, all right, it depends. A lot of times, the exporter is the one who does their quality control, right, based on the market that they're exporting to. In some of our value chains, like the hotels, they have somebody they call a purveyor, aggregator, who does the purchasing on their behalf, and they do the quality control. There was a time that Jamaica, we had a sort of national system where we used to buy and then do quality control and then distribute. It never went very well, for a number of reasons, right? So as it is now, if somebody's exporting, the farmer would normally come, sell, and the person would say, this is what we're looking for, and they would do the quality control. So that's how it is structured now. There's no intermediary outside of the purchaser and the farmer, unless we do have purveyors who operate in that space. So in our young business, we have a lot of purveyors. These are people who go buy from the farmer, right? And they look at the size, they look at the grade, and then they sell to the exporters. Again, you have different stories of works, doesn't work. A lot of farmers don't want to get involved outside of farming and selling. Some farmers now are doing their own purveying. So bring to them, and when exporter takes this, then they go to another market space with what is left. So we do have some diversity.
Okay. As I go to Tifo is going to DJ a song for us. I want to recognize Payola Isaacs. She's head of international trade, Broward County Association, head of FITSI. Very supportive to us here in the community. Thank you for all you do. Ladies and gentlemen, as you listen as well for opportunities for you to take action, not just to ask a question and try, just look smarter. I'm not saying anybody do it. Normally we have these activities. People don't see themselves in actually taking action. There are 2,000 acres available for lease in Jamaica. So you could actually get involved in having your own agricultural project and look to supply here in the States. I see a gentleman here from Golden Crust, one of the best Golden Crust right across the United States. Sir Andrew, top class outlet, Palmetto Bay, right? And looking to take more Jamaican items. So think about that as you listen to the presentation. I'm going to do Tifa for a second.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Quick question. So we're Jamaican, right? And as a Jamaican, we come from a culture of deadlift. And there's a lot of land that a lot of us acquire, and it just sits there. How can we bring it a part of what you're trying to do?
Very good question. I'm so happy you asked. So we do have a program on an Invest Corporation, Mr. Scully. If it's good agricultural land, we are willing to lease it from you and lease it back to farmers if you are interested in doing that, right? So what we realize is that there are a lot of lands, dead left land, nobody using it, people start squatting, people start farming, but them can't get regularized, so it's nobody's winning, right? And then, it's just there. So we started a program a few years ago. It hasn't gone badly. So again, literally, we will lease it from you, especially if the paperwork is fine. And then we just pay you a lease each year, if that's what you're interested in. If you are looking to develop it, you can also reach out to us. Because I know sometimes the land is there, you're not sure what to do with it, right? So we do have a team of technical experts that we can send, that you can do the soil test, that we can tell you that, listen, maybe what you should be doing is food crops. So you're not going to be there, right? But, it's 3, 4, 5 years, right? So, and it's less maintenance. We have one person. So maybe you should be planting out an orchard of breadfruit or an orchard of avocado. We can't tell you if the land works for this, right? Because again, sometimes we use feeling, agriculture is science. So we can come and say, all right, listen, the soil, this work, the elevation, this work. So, all right, listen, this land we have, Tifa, come. We go plant it out in the southeast Indian mango, right? But you're going to get somebody who can prune it, because the tree, they grow too tall, nobody not going to pick it, right? And you have to probably invest in some drip, and we can tell you all of that cost. I don't know if Mr. Scully, he never showed, but we have one of the things that people probably don't know, and if you go on the Agri-Invest website, we have the cost matrix on most things. So we can give you an idea of what it will cost you to do 5 acres of onion, 5 acres of sweet potato. And if you do it well, what you will get back on the back end. So if you have land, any of you, if you have land, especially if you don't have issues, I know some of the land have some issues, we really can't take on, we can't get the tackle field, sorry. Next ministry, I'll invite that minister, right? But if you have land that you have the ownership for, we are willing to lease it, especially if it's in a farming area, and lease it to farmers. That has gone very well for us.
As we get the next question, I have my first prize, courtesy of Carrier Shopper. This is a company that if you're in Jamaica and you'd like to order anything from any Jamaican product and deliver it to your doorstep here in the United States, Carrier Shopper is a Jamaican company. So I have a lovely prize here. So coffee and pepper sauce and all Jamaican products. So there's one quick question before I go to the next question. How many agro parks are there in Jamaica?
10 in 11 parishes.
All right. I think this lady here was first, but somehow I think you have. Let's give her a round of applause. You have to come a little harder this time. That was too easy. All right.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Tanya Peralta from Bloomahoe Capital. And my question to you, Mr. Minister, I am a farmer here. I do colorado, green banana plant, and all of that stuff. But what I want to do now, and I want to start doing in Jamaica, is using the technology that I've been exposed to be able to do the farming. I know we can take, let's say, for instance, 5 acres of land and do 20, 25 acres of farming. But I haven't heard anything that you said that speaks to that. I also know that we have a problem with water. If we do the farming that way, we're using 10% of the water we would normally use. We're using 10% of the fertilizers and stuff that we normally use. Fertilizers that are being a breast cancer survivor, that's very important to me, rather than using all the chemical stuff that goes into it. Using warehousing and stuff to do farming. With doing that, we can also ensure that we don't have the pesticides that you would normally have to use when you're doing farming. Is this something that you guys are doing? And I put in my money where, well, I put in Bloomberg's money where my mouth is. As soon as I'm ready to start agriculture, that's one of the projects we want to do.
Good, very, very good question and excellent observation. So yes, infusing technology in agriculture and what we do is a big, big focus of the ministry. It's under our climate smart technologies rubric, and sometimes the profile of the Jamaican agricultural sector is a large amount of small farmers, as we all know it, that operate on small acreages of land. So the technology that can work and that we can do is something that we've been trying to infuse over time. So some of our focuses are on things like hydroponics, right? So we are looking to do hydroponics, aquaponics systems. In fact, we've been rolling that out throughout our school systems so that we can teach people so that when they go into agriculture, they do it. So clearly, much less use of water. We have some very good private sector people now who have seen some of that vision. If you have any time, just go and look at agroautonomy, Jamaica agroautonomy. There are some tower farms that they're being doing in Kingston. They're growing Scotch bonnet peppers using a hydroponic system, a tower system, 4 months, excellent yield. So we are doing some of those things. Part of what we're doing from government is, again, looking at small equipment for the small farmers. Because, again, some of the bigger equipment have not worked over time. Drones, we've introduced drones right across our agricultural system for every area. In fact, a lot of our farmers know, well, let's take it a step back. We now train people to be drone pilots at our College of Agriculture Science. So we got some drones. We now use drones for fertilization. We now use drones for pesticide application, things of that nature. That is going well. We still need some more uptake. Organic. So one of the things that we're pushing completely right is organic solutions. So we have a big program now with the Jamaica Association of Organic Farmers. We're looking at how can we develop a slew of replacement chemicals, replacement products. We do have some on the market. How can we use more composting? How can we, again, engage more organic practices? That's doing well. We put about $50 million towards that, but still work in progress. Again, some of our private sector partners are looking at technology. So Jam Agro, which is probably now our most advanced protected agriculture farm, uses a fully computerized system. These are greenhouse housing as yet. We don't have anybody doing warehousing yet. We have some small operations. But again, we are facilitators as government. So we won't establish, but we're facilitators. So the good news is that every technology, agriculture-related technology that you want to import into Jamaica, to set up to do your enterprise, you can do that free from duty, right? We have a robust production incentive regime for agriculture. So come to us, let us know. We look forward to Blue Maho setting up, hopefully very, very soon, like early next year. That would be good.
As I hear you talking about concrete roads, and because a lot of the people that come to me with all their new applications that they have, you may want to also look into using hempcrete. It's a much stronger product and it's lighter and it's more efficient.
Yeah, and just to say, so the concrete, I said concrete, but the concrete road that we're looking at is a mix, right? It's not straight concrete. Straight concrete is still proven to be a little prohibitive. So there are things that hempcrete, we're not looking at that yet, but there is a variation.
Okay, so Chef Dr. Scott, all right. Let me ask you this question. In which two parishes are they going to be launching additional agri-parks? Hold on, we have to raise your hand. Okay, this lady in yellow. You have to give me some harder question, man. Then question two, but I want them. All right, so you have one for yourself. Should I give away Khalid? Is one or two? I must give away two. So you have 2 tickets to Reggae Genealogy, February 2nd, Sunday, February 2nd from 4 to 9. And the artists will feature, you'll have artists doing Lovers Rock, Mentos, Kia, and I see CGB, I'm kidding. There's 2. Okay. Who was it? It was the chef? Yeah. Committee.
Yes, sir. Thanks for being here. One of the things that I'm fascinated about is food source. And I'm actively working on this right now, right? Now, traditionally we eat callaloo, pumpkin. Who identified those as food source? And why have we looked at other things as food source? Right now, as a chef, I'm using moringa to enhance my callaloo dish. Moringa doesn't have any pests, so there's no use of pesticides. I also, in relation to the questions asked before, I was doing some export to Jamaica once, and I saw where it said, the American government said, these are chemicals for export only. Does Jamaica have the same standards as America? In other words, if America doesn't allow a particular chemical in their own country, do we in Jamaica accept that chemical as our pesticides? Another question. There's a whole bunch, but I'll just leave one more. Hold on, man. I've often wondered why we don't have a food czar. There are many small farmers who may not be able to produce enough for a particular client. Why don't you have a food czar that's tapped into the electronically, where you can have every farmer in a database, right? So if you get a big order from whoever, you can tap into all these farmers and actually produce the quantity that you need. Because, we have challenges in terms of the terrain. We don't have, it's very inconsistent. Some flat, some high, whatever. Thank you.
Minister, you want to take a couple of questions around here and then address them individually? All right. You remember these, right? I don't remember that. Yeah, I'm going to ask though, just for the sake of time, if you could just limit it to questions. Just if you have a short introduction, but just have a specific question so we can get more questions covered with the limited time we have. And tell us your name and where you're from.
My name is Richard Campbell. I'm the founder of the Geological Agriculture Institute, or GeoAg. It's the study of growing plants and rocks without soil fertilizers. So it's a new technology, and our question is, how do we introduce new technologies that upgrade agriculture production to a country like Jamaica? Like, what are our steps to introduce the technology to you?
That was an excellent question. That's right to the point. All right, who was next? Dr. Scott was, yeah.
For me, it's more or less I'm Scotty. Good night. First of all, I just want to thank you. First of all, I want to thank you for some of the projects that you've been doing and questions you've been. Now, for me, it's not just. Sorry, for me, it's just not a question. You're on the South Coast. If you do an part between Runaway Bay and St. Anne's Bay, I am there tomorrow, and the land is there. Thank you.
All right, one more question here.
Thank you. Good evening. Thank you so much for a wonderful presentation. My name is Marie Gill. I am a business consultant and I work with small businesses, large businesses, corporations, government agencies, help with technical assistance and so forth. I'm just wondering about insurance with respect to investment in Jamaica, if you could address that. And I also, as president of the Jamaica USA Chamber of Commerce, I was wondering how the chamber may be of assistance. Our motto is partnership in commerce. We would love to have a partnership where we can work with the businesses. We have technical assistance resources that can assist the businesses with their investment proposals and so forth.
Thank you very much, Marie. And we have food influencer Run Insight, 1 million followers. Right? All right. So you can post this evening. All right? Good. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, CJ. Thank you for all the questions. I start from Lady Gill and work my way back. So we would love to see that partnership. It would be really good. I think we should talk. Let's talk with AgriInvest. Part of what we're asking AgriInvest to do is to provide that technical hand-holding support, especially for our small business owners, our youth and our women. We have, by way of policy, I have indicated that 25% of all our new agro parks have to be given to youth and women on preferential terms. All right, so we're really pushing to get more young people involved. But if you just give them the land and you don't do the hand-holding and technical support, it doesn't work. So let us see if we can work on that. Insurance. I'll answer in relation to agricultural-based insurance, because a lot of people don't know that we do have weather insurance in Jamaica for agricultural crops. I worked very, very hard. When I just became minister, I went around the country and listened to what the farmers were asking for. And then I said to our insurance companies, one of the two things that came up a lot was insurance for crop and the fact that farmers prior to now and fishers were not able to get life and health insurance. It was really crazy. So I called in the insurance companies and we met and I said, boy, we must find a way. So now farmers have access to preferential rates for life and health insurance. They do it on group by both of our companies. But more importantly, we also have a Weather Protect program. So you can type it in. It's offered by GK Insurance, GK Weather Protect. So it's an agricultural-based insurance against weather. It is a parametric insurance scheme. It is very, very important because in the past, we used to have value-based insurance scheme for agriculture, which didn't work. What it means, after you get some damage, you come out and do the valuation. It used to take a long time. We didn't have the amount of assessors. Most countries have gone to a parametric system. What it means is that you have triggers. So you pay a premium, and if the rainfall hits X, then you automatically get a payout. So we have that system now in Jamaica, and from Hurricane Beryl, for example, 77 farmers got a payout. The truth is, every farmer who was on it got a payout. So if we had 1,000 farmers, so part of our job now is to try and get more farmers on that GK Weather Protect program. But you can look for that. All right, Sir Scotty, happy New Year and for all the work you've done in agriculture back home. It's good that it's the same time, and actually, we just took over some government land, NLA land, wasn't agriculture land, but that had some farmers. Long time, those farmers were begging to be regularized. So we have created a new agro-production zone in St. Anne, about 400 acres. We already have some farmers on it. And bigger than that, we're now the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining. So to make a budget, we've mandated them to develop an agro-park in St. Anne with Agro-Invest. They just signed the MOU last week. So we have 600 agro-park coming on in St. Anne. Ready for you. Right now. All right. Was new technology. Just took the first step. Very good first step. So there are a number of different avenues of technology in Jamaica. It definitely depends on what the technology is and what level of research work we would need to do. Right? So we have a research institute, BODLS, right? Normally when people are coming with new tech, they go through BODLS, right? Especially this is going to require a trial period, right? So that's an avenue. We also have what we call the Rural Agricultural Development Authority, RADA. So RADA is our extension agency. They touch the farmers. They are on the ground every day. So no matter, even if you go through BODLS, you'll have to come back to RADA. Because to get it to the farmers, RADA is it. But since you're here, clearly we can set up a meeting. And I'm very interested in new tech. Especially what you said sounds very exciting. You may not know, but we have a lot of hillside farmers in Jamaica, and that's a long historical thing. So let's see how we can work together on that. And then my chef friend, a number of questions, very, very good questions. Food source, who identifies it? You know, very, very good question. We have been trying through our RADA home economics unit to identify new food sources and to show Jamaicans ways to prepare that. So I would have started the week on one of our morning programs, and what was cooked was pumpkin leaf and tilapia. It was exceptional, right? And again, we eat callaloo, but why we don't eat pumpkin leaf? Right? And we've been doing that, parts of the Caribbean eat dasheen leaf, right? So we have a whole unit that looks at that. The challenge, and I'm happy you asked the question because maybe we've been taking the wrong approach in terms of when we come up with this, the challenge is how now to get it out there. And probably we really should be partnered with chefs, right? So we say, listen, we've done this pumpkin leaf thing, it's great. Is this something that you would put on your menu? And we try and seep it into. What we do now is that we have agricultural shows leading up to Denver, which is our major agricultural show. So that agricultural shows, we always have somebody in a booth cooking something different, something new that's not utilized. So we're trying to use that. In terms of pesticides, so pesticide is controlled in Jamaica by the Ministry of Health. So we do have a robust system of assessing pesticides. And anybody in agriculture will tell you it's very difficult to get pesticides in. But we have our own system. So just like in America, some states may utilize one pesticide and other states don't utilize one pesticide unless there's a federal ban. Same thing, has to be scientific based. Part of what we're doing now is doing some research on pesticides that have been used over the years, right? So they've kind of become commonplace. Maybe before we had this robust system, and we're looking at what is happening across the world, and we're doing our own research to see if we need to make some changes to some of the pesticide regimes that we have now in place. And you did ask one more, food czar. So, we actually have a platform now called Alex, Agri-Linkages Exchange, that we've tried to use the technology to pair small farmers, largely came about through hotels, right? Again, part of what you said, hotels looking to purchase, they don't know who to talk to. They talk to one farmer, they don't have enough. So what we do is the farmers can register on the platform, people can go through the platform, and you can find multiple farmers that may have the same item. So you can put in a request. You can say you want 600 melon, and people come. So we've tried to use the technology to do that. Back in the day, there used to be, as I said, a collection and distribution system, right? It's something that we're looking at whether we need to revisit the model. So it would be a lot like what you envision. So you call it a food czar, like the name, whereas, you would have that middleman that would be government. that would go in and bring together a man who have a little pumpkin here, a little pumpkin there, and deal with the quality control. Challenge sometimes that when government gets involved in quality control, it's a very difficult process, right? Because when you go to, I saw it during COVID, when we were doing the buyback, you know, the one time I stopped by, I'll tell you, real story, the one time I stopped by the center that we were doing purchases, as I came out of the car, a woman jumped out and said, "Boy, minister, they were turning back the tomato." Minister, I have to talk to them. They want fear, they want reasonable. And you know, when I went to the man and I said, well, lady, outside say I turn back tomato, then I can't look bad. And the man said, "You see the tomato?" I said, "No, we never really go over there." And sometimes say it was a vial of green tomatoes, literally, right? So, you know, sometimes when you put these things through government processes, it gets difficult. What has worked well for at least a few hotels who have done it, they have gotten somebody who has the capacity, and this is a real opportunity in Jamaica, who has the capacity to go around, do the quality control, pay the farmers up front, and then wait on the money from the hotel. We have one company who's, well, two, who do it really well. There's space for more. So, yeah.
Well, so I Minister come first in class. I forget half of the question. Or let's give a round of applause. Exciting things happening in agriculture. And as we look to wrap down the evening, because I know some of you will want to take some pictures and have the individual photos with me. I'm kidding, with Minister. I'm kidding. We have another question for you. Top 3 export items are coming harder this time because the class too bright. Top 3 export items. Hold on. This lady here said.
And pivot.
I'm going to hear the different answers. I'm going to tell you the closest one.
Yeah, mango, Scotch bonnet.
All right. Who else was coming? Huh? Yam, coffee, mango. Scully, you have bird? As a listener, I forget the bird. Mary. Yellow yam. Fish. And pepper. All right.
Yeah, pepper and ginger.
Ginger. Okay. But who will order this time? Who will order me? Who will know? All right. Yam, Scotch bonnet and rum. All right. Me hold them this time. Me hold them.
Yam, Scotch bonnet and breadfruit.
Yam, Scotch bonnet and breadfruit. Yam, Scotch bonnet and coffee. Scully, you listening? I'm going to get the closest one.
Yam, ginger, and turmeric.
Yam, ginger, and turmeric.
Jam, breadfruit, and sweet potatoes.
Hold on, Scully, listen to this answer. Scully, you can't. Scully, you must be. Oh, you must be adjudicated and you are. Read again. You can't go on the website and look down. Oh, all right.
Jam, breadfruit, and sweet potatoes.
All right. Good. Anybody else? All right. Yeah. Should I allow that side to come in and thing? Huh? All right. We're going to close it out. Do we have a winner? Do we have a winner? We're going to go with the judges. Hold on. All right. Quick. Listen, quickly. Yam, coffee, and rum. Yam, Scotch bonnet, and pimento. And then one more. Oh, okay. Scully. Okay. Yeah. But you said again. What was your one? Yam, coffee, and mango.
400 cases.
All right. Well, huh? Yam, banana, and sugar. All right. Let me see me just move on quick. You know, stay out of the rains. Listen, the pause is quick. That's a sign. But if you see you give me an answer, we just move off quickly. You are just good. It's a good answer, you know, but it's not as close as the others. Every answer is a good answer. Do you have a winner? Alright, listen, guys, we may not get it scientifically correct. We're going to tell you the answer. And then if the boss said it, and the lady, well, we don't know, we'll figure it out. But the answer is yam, coffee, and aki. So we're going to give you this one, all right? You're already closest, huh? Okay. So we give you an 8. You want to come? Let's give her an applause. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Minister, I'm going to ask you to do the presentation. Yes. Yeah. And who's going to take the picture? I'll get it into the Gleaner Observer tomorrow. Yes, oh yes, we didn't do it for you. Come. All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do this and then we're going to do the thank yous. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think, yeah, huh? Yeah. One more question. The back. Who was it? Where? Was it? Okay, Marie. Last question, guys, and then we're going to wrap up.
Minister, wonderful presentation. Thank you very much. My name is Marie Wallace. I'm a professional project manager. You mentioned about fisheries, and that is under your control as well. And you said fishery is something that is being it is progressing, or it's coming along. So can you just talk a little bit more about what's going on with fishery? I'm interested. Please. You didn't talk a lot about that.
Yes, I spent a lot of time speaking about freshwater fish. So, but I'll quickly try and condense a couple of things. So, we have a lot of potential in fisheries, but we have to do more deep sea fishing. The challenge that we have is that for a very long time we did a lot of nearshore, unfortunately not using the best practices. So we have significantly depleted our nearshore fish population, right? All of you who grew up in Jamaica, you know, the fishes have gotten smaller. Unfortunately, we didn't put in some structure until about 2010. And now we put in some sanctuaries and we're seeing the replenishment of our nearshore. But what we do need, which we really haven't had, is that most of our fishers are small artisanal fishers using small boats that don't go very far out. We've been training them now to do horizontal longline fishing, where they go further out and catch bigger species of fish. So what we import a lot of marlin, we can catch marlin. We import a lot of mahi-mahi, we can catch mahi-mahi. But it needs investment. So why it hasn't happened a lot is because, again, You need to have the capacity to put in the boats, to go further out, to deal with things like gas, things of that nature. What we've been doing is training some of our artisanal, giving them engines, giving them long lines, and there's a wonderful story about a guy, his nickname is Black God, that we train, and young guy, he posts every week because he's now catching some of the biggest fishes he's ever caught. And he has a ready market over there in St. Anne. So if you're interested, we can talk. There's a lot of potential. Additionally, what people may not know, and this is a good area, we are starting now sea moss farming in Jamaica. So, Irish moss is a big thing, right? Growing up, we all know Irish moss, we used to say good for all sorts of things. Well, it has gone threefold because it's used now in a lot of cosmetics, a lot of skincare regimes, and again, people like Kim Kardashian, you know, the thing I say, Jamaican Irish moss in our skincare regime, so people are looking for Jamaican Irish moss. It used to be harvested wildly. What we're doing now is that we set up Irish moss farms in the sea, work with our fishers. We have 2 types of Irish moss, we have Jamaican, we have a Grenadian variant, and that is doing well. So literally, we're looking for investment in things like that. We're also doing oyster farming. Again, high-end area, right? We're doing it with some fishermen in Westmoreland. We literally go with them. They do their oyster pots, whatever they call it, and we're doing oyster farming now. Clearly, we do a fair amount of lobster. We do a fair amount of conch. We don't do a lot of crab, right? So there is tremendous seafood potential. That is handled through the National Fisheries Authority. Again, all our agencies now have a presence online, on social media. Type in National Fisheries Authority, shoot somebody an email, or I am easy to find, shoot me a message. I'm on all social media, and we can put in touch with somebody. Big area, fishes are a big area. All of us have finished, but we have one more hand. See, we have 2 more hands.
By the way, everybody here is on Instagram. Huh? How many persons? All right. How many persons have followed minister's page? Just make sure you follow the minister's page. How many persons have followed my page? Tell the truth. Come in and say. Make sure you follow the page before you leave. All right. That's how we keep in touch. Okay. These have to be very quick. Mr. Reynolds had also asked, and then that's it, guys. So we'll continue 2 questions.
Very quick. I'm Sophia Collins, and my question is really short. I know my doctor won't appreciate it, and my cholesterol is saying no, but could you tell me about the shrimp? Is it going to be the shrimp from Mega Quarters, or is it going to be the foreign shrimp?
Okay, thank you for being with Mr. Minister. Okay, I have a question concerning fish. Now, the Jamaican, we grew up eating parrotfish. And I don't know if most people know this, but our beautiful white sand is a result of parrotfish. One fish produces over 100 pounds of white sand per year. White sand is parrotfish poop. So why don't we put a ban on eating parrotfish? See that it serves such a great purpose on the island.
This is the absolute last question, guys. Last question. Last.
My question is around the tariffs. Like, there's a lot of conversations around the president-elect's removing the tariffs, and I'm wondering if that's going to cause any issues with Jamaica or the whole process of trading.
Okay.
All right. With the tariffs, we kind of have to wait and see. A lot of things are said during the course of a campaign. Thus far, nothing has been said that would suggest that it would negatively impact us. The attention has pointed in other parts of the world, but we have to wait and see. Yes. Clearly, we are not a big market share. Right, so we don't have significant impact on what any government will be trying to prevent. Right, we have seen in other parts of the world that, for example, I said when Britain came out of the EU, it helped us. So Brexit helped us because the EU rules are much more stringent than the UK rules to get produce. So we have to wait and see what happens in that regard. Parrotfish. So our approach and the approach that we've taken thus far is to focus on conservation and rebuilding and not necessarily banning. Every time you think about banning, you have to remember that there are also livelihoods that depend on it. Now, if we were to keep to the fish sizes, right? If we were to use the right size net, if we were to put back the small fish, then we would have a challenge. What we're looking at now is whether we need to put in some more guidelines. So we had dealt with net sizes, right? We now have sanctuaries. Sanctuaries are no fish zones, and those have really brought back our fish population into some species that we didn't see for a long time. We're seeing come back. But now we're going to look at, do we have to date fish sizes? But if you mandate it, you have to be able to police it. So that's the approach that we're taking. Plus, the other approach is what you just did, education, right? So like the Prime Minister has come out and has said clearly that he doesn't fish just for the simple reason that it serves that purpose. So, you know, we have to take it step by step. And shrimp, yeah. So what we're looking to do is to grow our own shrimp, right? That's what we're trying to bring back. Unfortunately, over the years, again, what we've done to the seas, we've done to the rivers, and a lot of our local population, you know, so we're looking to build that back. And you all know Middle Quarters has the best pepper shrimp in the entire world. And Middle Quarters is in the best constituency in the entire world, which happens to have the best member of parliament in the entire world. Who is now the Minister of Agriculture? God bless you. Thank you. IG is Floyd Green JA. Almost everything. Floyd JA. And it's green like the color. All right?
Thank you very much, Minister. Let's give it up, Minister. I want to just really thank the Minister for taking the time out. You know, it's a very, very busy period. Constituency work, it's cabinet work, just having all the rains in Jamaica, yet still he found the time to come here to spend the night with the diaspora, introducing the new campaign. And we just Minister and Scully, and Vivian Scully, you may almost call you, maybe it's prophecy, Joe. Thank you very much to the both of you for a great presentation. We appreciate the both of you, right? Excellent representatives for our people. I want to acknowledge a lady recently who got a big award in New York, Dr. Lewis, who was recently recognized. I don't remember the big award, but maybe it's a big award, right? Congratulations. I want to acknowledge all our young people who have come out this evening. I want to encourage you. Please come back. I see the President of Youths, Chanel, right? Thank you for being here. I see our former Miss Jamaica runner-up, Belinda Smith, who just launched her new coloring book at the consulate, right? So at the consulate, we support all business in us. When you're starting up, when you're boss already and need support, right? So at this time, Mr. Livermore, Mr. Latimore, one of the top artists in Jamaica, around agriculture, things Jamaican, is going to do a special presentation now to our minister. So we're going to invite our minister to come forward and receive this special award.
First of all, I would like to say, I just found out my roots back in 2012, and I feel right at home here. I'd like to say to Bree Gill, you're sitting in office, this area, she's one of the first person to invest. So my name is CJ Lattimore, real quick. Specialize in commemorative art. Many organizations around the world, Super Bowl, Olympics, but they commissioned me to do the authentic piece for the Agriculture Museum, first of its kind in the world, that's dedicated to only agriculture. So for 8 or 9 months, I had to go into Jamaica and look at all of the fruits, the algae, running down some hummingbirds, but that's all right. But I would like to have him to see a little snippet because the piece is 6 feet by 4 feet. It's on Old Hope Road. And you can go there and visit, I think sometimes when it's going to be maybe December, January. So at this time, real quick, here's the piece. And it has from the old to the new, from the plows to the drone. So it represents iconically what's happening in Jamaica. Jamaica Seeding the Future. That's the title of the piece.
Thank you very much. Jamaica, little country? Why the Lord has blessed you. No, you can't give me enough now. Okay. All right. I'm kidding. All right. So, I want to acknowledge Island Space for being our partner here in this monthly exercise. We don't, I hope I don't get her in trouble by making a statement, right? Don't make a statement then. Don't make it. But put it this way. Anything we do, we're not pressuring the Jamaican government when we do these things. The community works with us. Am I being diplomatic enough, Khalid? The community works with us. All right? And was it a great conversation this evening? So I want to encourage you to come out, support. We have had some of the biggest names here presenting to you, and they're not just here. They want to ensure that we answer all the questions that people may have, suggestions for Jamaica land we love, concerns. We're bringing the ministers right here. We've brought Minister Bartlett, we've brought Minister Tufton, now Minister Green, we have brought Storyteller, we have brought VP, the head of VP Records. So many people have come here to present, and we want to keep it going. But one of our partners is Island Space, and the sister, I get the feeling she grew up in church. Every time I bring her up at this time, it's like she normally walk with something, and I can't blame her for that, because we need to keep the museum going. And let's give it up for the director of the only Caribbean museum in the world, Khalid Thompson.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much, CG. God bless you. My name is Khalid Thompson. I am the co-founder and one of the current board president, the curator of Island Space Caribbean Museum. I want to thank you all for being here. Could you please raise your hand if it's your first time at the museum? Wow, okay. Welcome. Hopefully we captured your information. Hopefully you will come back and visit with us over and over again. You are now part of the Island Space family. I welcome you. All right. I want to thank the minister, Mr. Floyd Green, for joining us as a part of this series. I want to thank CG for being such a great partner to Island Space. At times, he is actually on the stage at Reggae Genealogy doing a thing. So if you want to see a performance from CG, we're not paying you, sir. All right. All of our esteemed guests, Sharon, thank you all so much for joining us. If I didn't call your name, please forgive me. Mandy already shared and CG already shared that we are the only Caribbean Heritage Museum in the entire world that tells the story of the Caribbean region. So if you have not taken it upon yourself to just walk behind the wall there, you're seeing the art here. This is our art gallery. There is also an exhibit that tells the entire history of the Caribbean region behind the wall. If you have not done so yet, please do so before you go. The Bob Marley exhibit. So at the last Reggae Genealogy, we recognized Cedella Marley with a Lifetime Achievement Award, along with Marcia Griffiths and Miss Pat. And Cedella promised us one of her father's guitars. So the guitar is back there in the Bob Marley exhibit. It's still in progress, but you can have a look at that as you're walking around. We entertain and educate at Island Space. This is what we do. We have things like the CG Lecture Series. We do a Mango Festival. We do a Rum Cake Festival that you just missed. We do a Nancy Festival for the children. So this is what happens all the time at Island Space. And if you enjoyed this event this evening, please, again, keep coming back. We partner with organizations like the Jamaican Women of Florida, like the Jamaican Men of Florida. None of them is here? I might have to take it back. All right. We need more local partners from the community. Jamaica USA Chamber. You're not making up the noise. Make up the noise up the same. Please become a partner of Island Space. Become a member of Island Space. This place is really beautiful because we work hard. We write a lot of grants. We make a lot of money. And I'm going to say this very softly. Is a lot of white people fund the execution of this space. And we need more Caribbean people funding the execution of this space. It is very expensive. That is why we always are asking for funds. Right, CG? All right, anyway. Please, if you can sponsor, if you're a corporate guest here today, please think about how you can sponsor, whether it's the museum as a whole or events like Reggae Genealogy or the Anansi Festival. Is Alison Smith still here? If you are like our friend Alison Smith and you have done something important in the community, or if you have artifacts, Alison gave us the green and gold dress that she wore when she was inaugurated as the first woman head of the Broward Bar Association. That was in Jamaica. Please give her a round of applause. She donated her dress we don't have the space to display it yet, but Atto gave us his glasses. We have things from Usain Bolt. Anything you have in your home that you think would make a good addition to the museum, please consider giving it to us as well. Please consider hosting your events with us, your special events. And as CG said, we do things like the church around here. So we are going to ask you for something that we call a cultural tithe. So if you have been here before, you know it passed. Where's my buckets, please? Ladies, come on now. Hop to it. All right. So you will see some green buckets around the place. As CG closes out, they're just going to pass. Okay, you can pass it. You're just going to pass it down the way here. And if you have your $20, if you have the 5 and the 10, we'll take it as well. But I like 50s and 20s and 100. So thank you, CG, running. Thank you all again. We appreciate it. Yes. We got a question? People can Zelle. If you have Zelle or PayPal, you can do give at islandspacefl.org. Please don't forget the FL. Zelle and PayPal is give at islandspacefl.org. If it's Cash App, it's islandspacefl. Thank you so much.
Give it to the story to go. Give it to the willing heart, and if you have it. All right. We're just gonna have Renee come forward and do the thank you. All right, Renee's done. All right. Right after this, for those who want to go to the watch party, there's a watch party, the Jamaica USA game taking place at the Gardens. And we also have karaoke at La Veranda, who was gracious to give us some of the orders. They did have a challenge today, getting the full amount. They thought it was a small amount. They don't know that the lecture thing is a big thing. Turn up, right? So we want to thank La Veranda. So those who would like to go sing at the karaoke, you can head over to La Veranda. Or if you want to go to the football or watch party, we're hosting a watch party at the Gardens. Both of them are free of cost. So Renee, just take us out and just thank you.
Well, CG, doing it a while ago. I just want to say thank you to everybody for coming. Thank you to the minister for coming. I found this to be very informative, and I hope it was very, very informative for everybody. I think the minister or CG said something that I think we should carry with, like, you know, you come to this, you see something, you like what you hear, but that's it. But not this time. So we're just saying, when you go home, just follow through. Continue Google. Go on all the government websites. And for somebody in the agriculture business, I can tell you, agriculture Jamaica nice. So thank you for coming, everybody. Bye.